Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Unspoken Truth podcast, where the mission is to hear the story, to have the margarita conversation instead of the Diet Coke one, and to share the amazingness and superpower of every woman that comes on the podcast. My name is Paige Brown, certified leadership and shadow work coach, nationally certified counselor with over 16 years of experience in shadow work and self-sabotage. And today we are going to talk about emotion versus logic. This is a topic that I have been sort of in a brain dump over in the last few days, weeks, what have you. And on social media, I put a post that seems to, in essence, be making waves. And I really kind of wanted to talk about that in a more expansive space than just a 30-second reel. I talked about like I compared it to the 5 people you meet in heaven. These are the 4 people in your rowboat. And these are 4 people that you will never get rid of. They are always with you 24/7, 365. They will never leave you alone because they're part of who you are. I gave them names and we'll go through all of them. We have Connie. We have Linda. We have Sam and we have Eric. And I'm going to start with Connie. Connie is Captain Obvious. Connie is somebody who will point out the obstacles that are in your way. She is always on when you're awake, and she is your conscious mind. Connie's job is only 2% of the functioning of your brain. This is like, oh, I'm walking towards a tree, move around the tree. I'm driving the car. I don't want to hit that car. I need to put my foot on the brake. It's very reactionary. It's very utilitarian is Connie. Linda's a little bit of a bitch. Linda likes to move you from your emotional senses into your logic senses because she is your logic side of your brain. She uses data, she uses numbers, she uses strategy, she uses tactics to take you out of what your gut instincts are telling you to do. And she uses Sam, your subconscious brain, and we love Sam. Sam's a little confused. Sam's a little bit like, I don't really know what the truth is though. Because your subconscious brain is designed to keep you safe. This essence of who we are has been formed by the age of about 7 years old, of like what is good for us and what is bad for us, those core principles that we've designed. So it has some really logical things in there that are actually truths, like fire will hurt me. I shouldn't put a penny in a light socket. But it also has things in there like I am not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. I am not capable enough. I'm too emotional. I'm too much. Like all of these things that we have formed in our minds by the age of 7. And these could have happened just because we had an interaction with a parent that didn't go the right way. And they did the best that they could. But then all of a sudden we're like, you're evil. So Sam is complicated because Sam just wants to keep you safe. And he doesn't understand that maybe what served us when we were 7 years old does no longer serves us. So that's Sam. And Sam and Linda are best friends because Sam does the irrational thoughts, the spirals, designed to keep us safe. Like, oh, don't try that new thing because remember, it's similar to that old thing that we did that we crashed and burned in. And we told ourselves we wouldn't go there again. We told ourselves we wouldn't do that thing again. And that sounds an awful lot like this new thing, even if they have nothing to do with each other. And then Linda's in there backing it up with logic. Like, yeah, remember all the money we lost? You remember all the things that we did? You remember the feelings that were hurt? Remember the scars that we had? Whatever that is, right? And most people live solely in the conscious, logic, and subconscious mind. Most people, 90% of the time. Eric is still in there. Eric is our emotions, our emotional side of our brain. And when I say that most people live in the logic, the subconscious, and the conscious brain, I mean that as, and I say 90% of the time, because society has told us that emotions are bad. But what we forget and what society limits us to is that, we do our core 4 emotions: anger, frustration, sadness, regret probably is another one. I know our anger, frustration, and sadness, the top 3. For some reason, the 4th one just escaped my brain. Happiness. So anger, frustration, sadness, happiness. That's what society puts us in. Sorry about that. My brain had a pause. But what happens is society wants us to stay in that one emotion all the time, happiness. Because anger, frustration, sadness is embarrassing or hard, or people don't want to actually process it. This is what our brain tells us. Our subconscious, our little Sam, is telling us that nobody wants to hear that stuff. But the other thing is that our emotions are deeper than a kindergarten chart. We don't just have 6 or 7 emotions. We have hundreds. What about passion, excitement, joy, exuberance? And sometimes that excitement actually comes off of anxiousness, nervousness, stress, because we flip it. And if we're never allowed to express those things, maybe we'll never get to that excitement. 90% of the time, most people avoid their emotions because we've been taught to not express them. I'm speaking to my women. As women, our superpower comes from our emotions. We are emotional creatures. This is the thing that we have been designed to do. It's the reason why we have this stereotype of being too much or too emotional or too dramatic. But it's our emotions that actually serve us the best, because it's our emotions that allow us to get inside of our bodies to feel what it feels like, to be able to make the decisions, to be able to make the most aligned choices for us. Most people, and even men, if you could be able to express your emotions instead of taking it out in a heavyweight bag or heavy dumbbells at the gym, the connections that you could create to the people in your world would be a lot stronger, just like we do with women. Women, when we hang out with each other, have a lot of emotional expression together in that safe space, but not when we're dealing with clients, and not when we're dealing with social media, and not when we're dealing with bosses or anybody else that has to give us any kind of validating circumstances based off of a promotion or a payment or anything else. But it's from that emotional center where we get our most inflamed and accurate and holy hell yeses, because we're here and we're not in our minds. And what most of the population needs to realize is that, Eric, your emotional center should be put first, logic second. You still need to use logic, obviously, or we'd be living in dream states all the time, just singing and skipping through the streets. I mean, that doesn't sound too bad because there's no stress, but you have to have logic to ground you. But the first and foremost thing that you need to be moving into is your emotion. Not just to serve as a guiding point, but also to serve as a purge. Because when we don't purge our emotions, they come out in other ways. Like, I used to yell at my husband all the time for not picking up his socks. It had nothing to do with the socks. It had everything to do with the fact that I was really, upset about something else that was really bothering me, and I never expressed it. And then when I started to express myself in smaller ways, having those meaningful discussions and allowing him to express his emotions as well, our fights decreased by 3 times. The same thing with friends. You have misunderstandings. You're texting back and forth, and then all of a sudden you just spin out into a gossip center of oh, well, did you hear what so-and-so said? instead of actually having that conversation about what it made you feel when she said that or he said that. The way that our mind works is brilliant. It's designed to protect us, but we have to feed the emotional center first and serve from that area, because it communicates with every other area in the brain. The emotion checks in with Connie, your conscious brain, to make sure that you are in a safe environment before you get to that self-expression that you need to achieve. It then checks in with Linda to see what the logical balance is, to make sure that that those emotions are actually the emotions that we are feeling. Because sometimes anger and frustration manifest when you're just scared. And so it tunes into Linda, the logic senses, to be able to balance the emotion and the logic, to be like, am I in the right place? And then it turns into Sam, or tunes into Sam, because it talks to Sam to say that we are safe, even though this might feel different, even though a change is coming, even though a shift is about to take place, even though this is a new adventure that might feel like an old adventure. Eric calms down Sam. So we are often leading into Linda. We need to be leaning into Eric. I'd love to hear how this resonates with you guys. This is just something it was on my heart. I wanted to share it, so I popped it into this week's uploads. It's a passion project of mine. I absolutely love emotional expression. If we're not honest with our own emotions, with ourselves, how can we be honest with anybody else around us? How can we connect? How can we pull them into this world? If you are sitting here going like, I really don't feel like I have deep connections or deep friendships or deep relationships, do you have one with yourself? This is something that I feel like a lot of women have drifted away from because of the stigma of too much. When your emotions are beautiful, when they are expressed, and they are never too much for the right people. Let me know how this resonates with you. I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening. Know that I appreciate and care about each and every one of you. And stay tuned, because if you are loving this, I would love for you to actually check out, if you're a woman, sorry guys, I would love for you to check out my Shift Happens Women's group. If you are a female entrepreneur and you are just craving to be seen, heard, and understood, and to release being trapped and or stuck in your business, I teach the Shift Forward method, which is part of all of this inside of that container. We just had a call today. It was a beautiful thing. And I would love to welcome you in there. Or if you are somebody who you just kind of want to talk it out, see what might be out there for you in this world. I am a coach at my heart, and I'm creating a lot of containers for women to grow and thrive and to be the best versions of themselves, without feeling trapped, without feeling the emotional heaviness, and being able to express themselves fully and authentically. And I would absolutely love if I could just meet some of you and have that conversation to see if it's something that you might be interested in. Have an amazing, amazing Thursday, everybody, and I will see you on the next one.